Hello and welcome to The Big Picture. After days of suspense and drama over whether the World Cultural Festival will be held or not, all decks have been cleared for the event. The 3-day mega event on banks of River Yamuna, right in the heart of the capital, is being inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi amidst unseasonal rains. The controversial event, more so the venue, was almost cancelled following the petition by some environmentalists. However, the National Green Tribunal, after having found that the environmental and ecological damage is being caused to Yamuna floodplains, however, settled to just fine rupees 5 crores to the organizers of the event, Sri Ravi Shankar's Art of Living and its sister concerns. Another controversy also broke up about Indian Army being used to build pontoon bridges. What does this all mean to the environmental issues? What does this order of the Green Tribunal mean? And what is it that has been achieved by going ahead with this controversial event? We will discuss all this today with Prashant Bhushan, advocate in the Supreme Court, Vivek Goyal, former co-convenor BJP Legal Cell, Lieutenant General Raj Kadyan, former Deputy Chief of Army Staff, and Nitin Sethi, Associate Editor, Business Standard. Welcome to all of you. I have to say here that we tried our best to get a spokesperson for the Art of Living on the panel and as well as the Aam Aadmi Party representative, but we were not successful. Anyway, let us start the debate now. Prashant Bhushan, how do you see this order of the Green Tribunal? I think there's a problem there. Nitin, what is this order all about?
Well, to put it simply, I think it's a case where the NGT or the National Green Tribunal has growled but refused to bite. Now, initially the committee that it formed, and remember this special committee it formed, was headed by the Secretary of the Water Resources Department. So this is no anti-national NGO expert committee, which found gross violation of the conditions under which they had got the permission. It found environmental damage being caused along the riverside.
And this committee gave its report some time back.
It gave its report some time back when the court was still hearing the matter. And it's very straightforwardly, without any caveat, said great damage being done, 120 crores, 100 to 120
crores. Who are all
crores.
part of this committee? You said the water
There's an
resources.
IIT professor, there's a secretary of the Water Resources Department and another expert. So there's no environmental NGO involved here. These are experts of the government, officers of the government saying damage has been done. You must charge 100 to 120 crores for restitution of what's happened there. Now, at that time, the judges could have just gotten and said, if there is such a great crisis and it's the expert committee saying it, let's stay the setting up of the center and let's look at what are the real issues. And once the judgment is passed, I would say if there's such great damage being caused, why would the judges hold back and say, cancel it? Now, the fact that judges...
So the thing was that, there was an opportunity anyway. Why did it go ahead? We have Vivek Goyal with us. Vivek Goyal is the co-convenor of the BJP Legal Cell. Vivek Goyal, the Nitin Sethi points out that this could have been that there were chances for the Green Tribunal to have stayed this order. You think the Green Tribunal should have stayed the order? You think that what the Green Tribunal has finally the final order of the Green Tribunal is fine?
Green Tribunal has said on they have stated that this fine which they have imposed will now be in 4 weeks. Now they have given to pay this amount.
Yes.
So that is one part of the whole issue. But there are two different issues. You should not mix up the two issues. Whether there should be a program on to be held or it should be stayed. Even the Supreme Court has not stayed this program. They have not issued any stay order whether program should held or not held.
Where does the Supreme Court come into the picture here?
No, there was a PIL in Supreme Court also that this program should be stayed.
Okay.
The Supreme Court refused to entertain that PIL.
Okay, Mr. Goyal, the question is, if the Green Tribunal has the Supreme Court did not stay the program being held, the Green Tribunal has allowed the program to be held, then why is the Green Tribunal imposing a fine of 5 crores though it was, the committee which the NGT had set up had recommended 120 crores. But anyway, but even that 5 crores, why is that fine being imposed on the organizers?
No, that is up to the Green Tribunal. If they found that there is some violation, they have every right to impose that fine.
So you agree that there is a violation? You agree that there is violation there?
It is up to the court. This is a court issue. So we can't impose our own view.
No, I am not asking. I'm not asking you to impose. I am asking you to interpret the order of the Green Tribunal. If they have imposed a fine, does it mean that they have found violations being done by the organizers on the Yamuna floodplains?
Oh, definitely, it means prima facie that there is a violation. But the organizer has can go against that order before the Supreme Court and put their plea before the Supreme Court. Whether they have done any violation or not, then finally it will be decided by the Supreme Court.
Anyway, it is too late. In any case, the event has begun already. So now going to the Supreme Court.
That's why I'm saying there are two different issues.
Yes.
What is the issue of fine and imposition of the fine is a different issue, and holding of the program is a different issue. Now the program is not stayed by either by the Green Tribunal or by the Supreme Court. So the program is going to take place. This is an entirely different issue. There are
correct. Correct. I agree with you. But even though the tribunal has held that certain violations have been observed here, still the event is going on. Yes, Nitin. So I'll come back to you.
I think I would
Vivek.
disagree with Mr. Goyal on this. The question is, here's a large event which has caused large amount of environmental damage in the face of the government. It's not as if they hid the show. They've done it all along blatantly. And suddenly the court decides, well, you can fine them and let them on. Now, what kind of precedence does it set is a question I'd like to ask. And I think the NGT's kind of shied from doing what it should have done in this case. Therefore, the two questions are very linked. If there has been a great amount of violation, why has there been no punitive damages? Why the punitive damage would have been don't do anything that destroys? What kind of precedence does it set for any next guy who comes in and says, I can do the show as well, I can pay another 50 lakhs and get away with it?
No, we'll come to what kind of precedent. General Kadyan, another controversy which came up during this entire thing was, though it has not been addressed by the courts in any way, but I'm told that the army is pretty, at least the people who have been in the army before or even now, pretty upset that using the army to build a bridge for this kind of a private event. What are the protocols as far as these things are concerned?
Nikam, of course, unfortunate part is that nothing in our country ever happens without a controversy. Now, army's deployment for a task like this can be viewed from two angles. One is the angle of propriety, other is the constitutional or legal angle.
Right.
We may question the government that it is not proper, as you are saying, for army to be deployed for an event which is organized by a private organization like this. But that government can be questioned in the media, they can be questioned in the parliament. But let me tell you the legality part. There are regulations laid down in the army, and this kind of deployment comes under, there are four heads given. One, army can be deployed for maintenance of law and order, maintenance of essential services, assistance during natural calamities like floods and fire, and last says any other type of assistance which may be needed by the civil authorities.
So this is
the army functions under the civil authorities. It is for them to decide whether this task is legitimate or not. It is not for the army to question. Yes, army chief goes up to the government and gives his opinion behind the curtain. It doesn't come in the media, which could be any of the three. One, if it will distract from the operational commitment. Secondly, if there is a substantial degradation of critical military equipment. And third, if the task involves a menial work or which is demeaning for a soldier, which can lower the morale. In this case, I don't find any.
You don't think either of the three applies?
I mean, what are the soldiers they are doing? They are building a bridge, which is a military task.
There is a criticism from some of the ex-army people, which I have been reading, that some of the equipment which are being used here to build the bridges and the pontoon bridge itself. These are all equipment. The engineers who have been deployed to build this, they are all people who are essentially to be used in a armed combat in a combat situation. So you think that and they are saying that this is a misuse of those people and also the equipment. How do you react to that?
Every army resource, whether it is a human resource or equipment, is meant for combat roles.
Right.
The kind of equipment being used for pontoon bridges is all made indigenously. Kanpur and many other places.
It's not a question.
So it is not critical. It is not critical. If it was critical, like in this case also, they wanted the army to build 6 bridges. Army said, no, I don't have that kind of facility. I can build 2. Finally, I think they came to 3. So army does advise. There are occasions when if the task is demeaning, army refuses. For example, I'll give you 2. Number 1, there was a strike of sweepers in Calcutta when Jyoti Basu was the chief minister. The street got piled with garbage. So he wanted the army to bring their bulldozers and clear it. Army said no. That task is demeaning for a soldier.
Right.
My own case, I was the corps commander in Mathura when the unfortunate Odisha cyclone took place.
Right.
We gave all the assistance. Finally, the dead bodies had to be removed. So they asked the army. I said, no, that's not my task. So army does put its foot down. But this is, let us look at it positively.
Whether in this case they should have put their foot down or not, you say that what they have done is the right thing.
Both those tasks were demeaning for a soldier.
But in this case, you don't think it was.
He is doing a military task. He is working under his own officers. He is using military equipment. He is getting training to build bridges, which in any case in peace station is supposed to do.
Okay. Prashant Bhushan, how do you look at this? There are three different ways of looking at it. The NGT, of course, has found that there are certain violations have been done. They fined and they allowed the event to be carried on.
Well, firstly, let us look at the event itself. It's called a cultural festival, but I don't know what kind of culture, this kind of extravaganza on this scale. This is just a show of strength. It's a kind of mega show or mega circus, as you might call it. It's basically a show of strength. It has nothing to do with culture as we understand culture. And why should it have to be done on the Yamuna floodplains in such a large area which cannot be secured, where the stage that you have constructed, the CPWD has said that this is totally unsafe, it can collapse. They can't, far from guaranteeing the safety of that, they say that it's very hazardous. There's no fire safety clearance. And in the teeth of all this, after seeing all this, it's very unfortunate that the NGT, instead of stopping this event, which can lead to a disaster of monumental proportions. Suppose there is a fire there, suppose the stage collapses, suppose there is a security incident, somebody goes inside and sets up a bomb there, is going to cause mayhem. If you are going to have lakhs of people there, it's going to cause mayhem and loss of life on a very large scale. In that respect, I think it's fortunate that it has started raining, which will put a damper to this whole thing and perhaps prevent a much larger tragedy from taking place.
Okay, no, that is okay. But what is your objection? Your objection is that the safety concerns have not been addressed in this thing, or no, what about the NGT's order itself? How do you view that order? For instance, the order says...
No, NGT's order is laughable to my mind.
The order says for the damage... Sorry, Prashant, one second. Let me read the order. It says for the damage caused to the environment, ecology, biodiversity and aquatic life of the river, the foundation is the Art of Living Foundation, I guess, should be held liable for its restoration in all respects. In that regard and in exercise of powers under section 15 and 17 of the NGT 2010, we impose an environment compensation initially of rupees 5 crore. The amount would be paid, whatever. So here is an order which actually has held that there is damage to the ecology, environment and everything, and continues to allow the event to be held. How do you look at that?
Firstly, after having found violations of all environmental rules, after having found safety rules being violated, fire safety, structural safety, general security, etc., the NGT, it was absolutely incumbent on the NGT not to allow this event to take place. Its own expert committee had estimated the damage to be at least 120 crores. Yet the NGT just gives a slap on the wrist of 5 crores and says you go ahead with this event, and that too, that 5 crores is not paid, and they say, all right, you pay 25 lakhs and the rest you can pay in the next 3 weeks, etc. It's made a mockery of this NGT. Nobody is going to take the NGT seriously anymore. I mean, they have shown that they lack the political or the legal will to go after big ticket offenders, just as our banks have shown the lack of will to go after people like Malaya, etc. The NGT has shown that, as Nitin Sethi has written, that it just growls at important and big fish and doesn't bite.
Mr. Goyal, how would you react to that? Is that the sense you would also get?
On this issue, I think Prashant has to understand that it is a event which has a great international importance. Many people from all over the world are coming for this event. This is a event where you have to show a world culture, how the whole world is interconnected. This is an issue which can lead to world peace. So there are many different issues, but there are people in India who have objections even for Ganpati Puja, Durga Puja, or any kind of cultural event which people want to take part. So we can't comment on their apprehensions. But on the legal side of this issue, my view is on the legal side of the issue, my view is that whatever NGT should do for making a preventive kind of steps, so that there should not be any damage to the environment. That is, of course, I am with the NGT, and they should take preventive steps on that.
You think the
So that in
you think the
future,
NGT has
any kind of there should be proper guidelines.
No, Mr. Goyal, do you think that the present order of the NGT ensures that the environment, the ecology which is supposed to have been damaged can be restored?
No, we have to make a balance. If the balance is lost, like if we are making an international event, we have to see all aspects of the issue. We can't have only one side of the picture and then take a wrong decision. To reach to a correct decision, we have to take a balanced view.
No, I am asking you, what is this balanced view you're talking about? What is this balanced?
All kind of.
Mr. Goyal, what is the balanced view? You think that the NGT has taken a balanced view?
I am talking about balanced view that if and NGT is taking a view that they should prevent the damage, number one. Number two, in future they can make some guidelines so that whenever any future events take place, those measures can be taken at first hand. And the third thing, they have not stopped the program to go on, because once all preparations have been made, the event should go on.
Okay. That is the Prashant, there was an element of faith accompanying in this, as Mr. Goyal pointing out, because there was so much of arrangements which had been made, how could the tribunal have come in the way and cancelled it at that last moment?
A retired judge of the High Court today was telling me that this argument is like saying that, look, somebody buys a gun, he buys bullets, etc., now aims it at your head, and then you go to court or go to the police and say, look, stop this man from shooting me, and the police says, why didn't you come earlier when you saw him buying the gun, or when you saw him buying the bullets, etc., why are you coming so late? Now I can't prevent it. I mean, this is an absurd argument. When you find that body, firstly, it's a private body, it's been given all kinds of
Prashant,
unnecessary
you are
and
giving a
undue
totally
benefits by the
absurd
government
argument
by way of funds.
for justifying your view.
What is the absurd argument,
What
Mr.
is
Goyal?
absurd about this?
No,
When the NGT
I'm
finds
against,
that they have violated every rule, and yet they allow the event to go on.
Okay.
So,
Nitin, yes,
they have
Goyal, Mr.
violated
Goyal.
any rule. So, is a cancellation of the event will prevent that violation? It is if
Oh, it's already
whatever
violated, so what
violation,
can be
if
done?
there is any,
No, Mr. Goyal.
Whatever,
No, Mr. Goyal, what is the argument? The argument is that it's already whatever violations have been done. So what is the point in stopping the event?
I am saying, whenever you breathe, as a human being, whenever we breathe, we do create some pollution. So can there be an argument that kill all the people, so that there will be no pollution?
Okay.
So
I mean,
it cannot
okay.
be an argument. There cannot be such kind of argument.
No, you can have your view.
That's why I am saying there should be a balance.
What is that balance is something which we are not clear about.
That when we are organizing a world-class event, and what kind of harm it is.
Okay. You have made a point.
There should be a balance on both the issues.
There's a problem about that balance. Nitin, the question is this: the NGT has said that why are they imposing fine 5 crores? It has to be restored. Can it be restored? The question is, can it be restored now?
Well, we don't know, because really neither the committee went into how much restoration can be done, nor the courts have argued this. Now, what I find fascinating in this, Girish, is the fact that the BJP talks about this event as we are organizing this. I've never seen the government be a PR agency for an event management being done by Art of Living, where I think Telegraph today has brought out stories about how the embassies were also being used to promote this. Now, here's a weird case where the government is promoting an event of a private agency.
No, it is not just the central government, it is the Delhi government also.
As well as the Delhi government, which has been slyly keeping quiet on it while they've aided and helped the project go on. It's the most fantastic
because it is the Delhi government. It is the Delhi government's minister which requested the army to be
for the second bridge to be built by the army. So it's the first time Mr. Kejriwal and Mr. Modi have come together thanks to Art of Living, which is really nice.
Okay, so as far as the restoration is concerned, we don't know, Mr. General Kadyan, restoring this thing. Will the army have a role to play in restoring this whole place also?
I don't think so. The army's role is only to build bridges, which is a military task.
And to dismantle it.
Yeah, of course, dismantling is part of bridging. But I'm not sure this is not the first time army has built pontoon bridges for a civil function. We have been doing it almost every year in Kumbh Mela, which in any case is a more religious function.
But it's organized by the government.
It's a public function.
It's a public
ordered by the government, yes.
It's a government function.
It's organized by the government. Here it's a private organization.
But the decision is taken by the government to deploy.
Obviously.
With all respect to the army, I'd be much happier if my army was cleaning and sweeping the streets when needed rather than serving the purposes of a private enterprise for their own entertainment.
The army should actually be basking in the glory that the country is showing confidence in the army as the only institution which can do a task at short notice. That's the only institution they can depend on.
Then it should contract itself out to all private agencies and all event managers to make whatever the event managers want. Let the army then be a contracting agency to all event managers if that's what it loves to do. I don't think that's what the army needs to do.
Prashant, what are the consequences of all that has happened so far? Legal consequences of what has happened so far.
No, the first consequence is that from now on, you see people in high places, powerful people, powerful organizations, corporates, etc., will begin to scoff at environmental laws, rules, etc., thinking that ultimately NGT is not going to, or the authorities are not going to hold them accountable so long as they enjoy the patronage of the governments and the powerful people in this country. Nobody is going to touch them. It has sent a very wrong message across the board that all rules ultimately can be bent if you are powerful enough you can get away with anything. As I said, you see, Malia learned the art of living from the Congress. He learned the art of leaving from the BJP. And now Sri Sri Ravi Shankar can teach him the art of impunity. You see, this is complete impunity, unfortunately. This is the message that is going across to the whole world, that if you are powerful enough, if you enjoy the patronage of the government, you can get away with murder.
But what about the argument that this is a world cultural event, the whole world is watching us, so why not give it, why not allow it to happen? Because, at the end of the day, some damage has been done, but it can be restored.
You didn't need this kind of extravaganza for a cultural event. You could have held this cultural event at Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium, at Indira Gandhi National Indoor Stadium. You don't need to have an extravaganza where you call 35,000 musicians, etc. For what kind of culture? What are you promoting? You are just promoting a grand extravaganza, that's all, in the name of culture. It's all nonsense to say that this is a cultural event and this is to promote culture, etc.
Okay, Mr. Goyal, quickly.
There are people who believe in culture and there are people who are
No, Mr. Goyal, you don't use the word anti-India so easily. But anyway, the question is,
there are people.
There are
people in the world. There are different people.
Somebody.
There are people who believe in culture.
Mr.
There
Goyal.
are people who don't believe in culture.
That is fine. That is fine. But don't say that people who don't believe in culture are anti-India. Please don't say that.
I'm not saying they are anti-India. I'm saying there are people who are for India. There are people who are anti-India. There are people who are for culture, and there are people who are against the culture.
Mr. Goyal.
There are different views on this.
That's fine. That is fine. I have a question. Mr. Goyal, please listen to my question. My question is, the Culture Ministry of the Government of India has granted 2.25 crores for this event. Now that the NGT has virtually declared this, whatever has happened there, as violation of all environmental laws. So don't you think that the Culture Ministry is slightly should be in an embarrassing situation, granting such huge money
between the two issues? That's why I am again saying there should be a balance between the two issues.
Who should balance it? Who should balance it?
Issue and a cultural event.
Who should balance it?
And it has a great importance also.
No, Mr. Goyal, who should balance it? Who should balance it?
Great importance also.
Who should balance it?
There should be a balance.
Who should balance it?
I think he's confusing, if I might say.
The government has to see this balance, and the NGT is also looking into the issue. So ultimately, the issue will reach to the Supreme Court also. So
Supreme Court. Okay.
For
Very
the future
quickly.
also, we have to make
Nitin.
guidelines for this
I think he's mistaken. NGT's business is not to promote culture. Its business is to ensure law is implemented, which it is not done in this case, I believe. 2, NGT's order says in case AOL doesn't pay, we'll take away the 2.5 crore grant from the central government. That's public money to begin with. It's not a penalty on the private entity.
Right.
That in itself is very weird.
Okay. I think on that note, we need to end. Anyway, the show has begun. The show is going on. We will see how the show will go on anyway. In any case, we hope that, at the end of the day, people are safe and secure despite all this that has happened. Thanks to all my guests. Please keep watching. We'll come back with another issue in the big picture, same time on Monday. Meanwhile, have a great weekend.